second term rather, and you ran unopposed, if I'm correct. So.
Yes, very fortunate.
Of course. What's it been like for the last 2 years for you to sit in this office and to have replaced obviously Congressman King,
Sure.
who made an attempt for a Senate race?
Right. Well, first of all, it's an honor and a privilege to represent the 1st Congressional District of Georgia, the district that I grew up in. That's my home. And, you know, to follow in the footsteps of Elliott Hagan, of Bo Ginn, of Lindsey Thomas, of Jack Kingston, that is very, very special to me. And I love the 1st District. As I say, it's where I was born and bred. And you know, we've got such a great district and so much to be thankful and so much to be proud of. I mean, we've got 2 major seaports, we've got 4 military installations, a great ag presence, just so much to be proud of in our district. And it's just an honor for me to represent the people and to hold this office at this time.
What's the difficulties of this? I mean, what have been the lows in this office that you've encountered since?
Well, certainly it can be frustrating. You know, I was frustrated mid-afternoon the first day I got here, and you just have to work through that. This is not my first rodeo. I've served in public service before. I was a mayor, I was a state legislator, so I understand the political process, but it can be very frustrating, particularly up here. It's hard to get things moving. The wheels of the federal government move very, very slowly, and that takes some getting used to. But you have to persist, you have to keep going, and just have to move forward.
What is the what are you expecting in the next term? This term coming up. I mean, there's going to be a lot of controversial things that are going to come up. How are you anticipating? What are you anticipating to?
Well, first of all, you're right. I think there's going to be a lot happening, and I'm excited because there needs to be a lot happening. We need to address some very important issues in our country. The president-elect has already said that he wants to address the issue of infrastructure. He wants to address the issue of Obamacare and health care. Again, I think we've got the greatest health care system in the world. We just need to make sure that it's accessible and affordable for people. So all of those things, the economic development, that's going to be very important. That's high on the list. If you look at our Better Way agenda for the Republican majority and the Republican conference, you'll see that we've identified some of these things. We've identified health care, we've identified poverty, we've identified national security, securing our borders. The number one responsibility of our federal government is to make sure that we take care of our homeland and to protect our citizens. And we can only do that by having secure borders. So all of those things are so very, very important.
I'm curious about something. President-elect Trump said he wants to have health care for all. And I'll get it back on the health care questions. Right. But you got a debt of nearly $20 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys make that work, though?
Well,
I mean, how do you bring down the debt and at the same time try to get health care for all, and build a wall and all this stuff? And you guys handle the purse strings. So.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, and I appreciate you acknowledging that. But, you know, first of all, I believe that the president backtracked on that statement about health care for all. Nevertheless, we do want to make sure that people have the ability to have health care, that they have that opportunity. You know, nobody wants to see someone without health care, but at the same time, there has to be a certain amount of personal responsibility, and we all understand that, we all acknowledge that. So, you know, making sure that those opportunities are out there, that's our responsibility, and we want to make sure we follow through on those responsibilities.
But how do you do it with a $20 trillion deficit?
Well, there's no question.
Rather.
Well, there's no question about that. We've got to address that. And you know, I've always said that the 3 things we need to do to address our national debt: first of all, we've got to cut spending, and we do have to do that. Secondly, we've got to have entitlement reform. But third, and most importantly, we've got to grow our way out of it. I think if we can get our economy growing again at a robust 4 or 5%, as opposed to the anemic 1 and 1.5% that we're growing right now, if we can get our economy growing again, we can make a big dent in that national debt.
But you underscore with an if.
Right. Well, we've got to, and the president-elect is committed to that. He's committed to getting our economy going again, stimulating our economy, making sure that we put America first. I'm excited and I'm very optimistic about the future. I've always said that, I believe our greatest days still lie ahead of us, and I truly believe that.
So how do you propose the economy being grown and bringing down debt? I mean, I'm not following
Well, if we
how
can,
that would work.
well, if we can grow our economy and without increasing spending, if we can be disciplined and not increase spending, if we can have entitlement reform, all of those things put together, I think we can definitely put a big dent in our national debt. It's going to take discipline, there's no question about that, and it's going to take economic development, it's going to take getting our economy going again.
On that note,